Welcome to our podcast, Tell Us a Story, a laid-back place where people come in to share their gift of gab and tell us their most interesting true life stories while we talk about different topics from all over the world. I'm Baboo.
I'm Frenchie.
Yes, and on today's very first ever podcast episode in the history of the whole wide world,
Damn.
I know, I've worked on that a lot. We have here in the studio no one.
I mean, there's you and me.
There's us. We count.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so let me start today's episode off by introducing my lovely co-host.
Thank you.
Yes, she is Frenchie. She is
French.
very good. She's petite. She's stinking cute. She's got a great smile and is known to laugh at all of your jokes, even the bad ones.
All of them, especially the bad ones.
Yes, she is a native of France. She is what I refer to as an international pot of gumbo, including parts of France, Spain, and according to 23andMe, just a little piece of Italy, guys.
5.4.
5.4. Hey, that's enough just to make a great pizza.
See.
Yes, she speaks 4.5. What? 4.5 languages. 0.5?
Oh, yeah. The 0.5 is where it's at.
Pig Latin, maybe?
I mean, stay tuned. You'll find out.
Yes. She is an excellent cook and baker in the kitchen.
Thank you.
Yeah, testified to that. She loves to take many, many photos. Her favorite saying is just one more.
That is the truth.
That is not the truth.
I mean, there's always that one last one.
And she is always ready for the next adventure. So anyway, that's a little bit about her. You're going to get to know her and love her. And
Aww.
I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to her and let her do her little spiel.
So here's a little bit about Baboo. He's tall. He's funny. He's handsome. He never has a bad hair day, which frankly is so annoying.
Yes.
He has blue eyes. He has big feet. Wait, what? I didn't write that. Big feet?
I wrote that.
Oh.
Just move on.
All right. Over 45 years as a professional musician, he tasted cakes in over 1,000 weddings. Clearly something to be known for.
Hey, let me ask you, what is fondant?
It's pretty gross. It's a sugar paste.
It is gross.
I don't think anybody ever eats that.
No, nobody eats it.
But you can make cute things with it.
Yeah.
He's a music teacher extraordinaire to many students. He really rocks. He's awesome and all his students love him. He has performed on many stages throughout the country. He's a great listener and even a better talker. He has won countless amounts of participation trophies in several events, such as,
let's see, there was the pig squealing competition of 72. There was the frog hopping competition.
Do you bring your own frogs?
Well, you have that option.
Oh.
There was one that was really difficult. This was the 5-legged race.
Oh?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you can only have 2 in the sack.
Oh, my God.
Their last one, promise.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was one I actually won. I won this.
Did you now?
Yes. It was the egg toss competition. I did cheat, though.
Do tell.
I used a boiled egg. Okay, great. So what we'd like to do is explain to you guys what the show's about. And then we're going to each have a little surprise for you. So the premise of the show is we're going to be bringing in guys and girls from all over the world. And when I say all over the world, I mean all over the world. Tell them about it, Frenchie.
Well, we have Ecuador. We have Sicily/Belgium, France, of course, and the list is ongoing. But we also have local people.
Locals, where it's at. Yeah, that's right.
Down the bayou.
Down the bayou.
Up the bayou.
Up the bayou.
Near the bayou.
Near the bayou.
On top of the bayou.
On top of the bayou.
I could go on and on.
I get it. So anyway, these people are going to be coming in, and what they're going to do is they're going to tell us about themselves, tell us where they're from, where they've been, where they're going, their vocations, things they've done in their lifetimes, and just to give us a little insight into who they are and what they do. And then the one thing that everybody's going to do that's going to be the common thread of sorts is they're going to come in. They have to tell us a true life, a wild and crazy story of something that's happened to them either on their adventures, vacations, or throughout their job, their lifetimes. And we're looking forward to it. We think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be so exciting.
Because who doesn't love
a good story?
There you go.
We all do.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what we're going to do for today's first podcast episode, since we are by ourselves here in the studio, we thought we'd get in on the fun, and we're going to each present a story to you guys and give you a little taste of what it's going to be like. So I'm going to let Frenchie go ahead and start for us, and she's going to tell you just an incredible story as she was growing up.
All right, so I'm bringing you back to 1996.
1996.
I know. Like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had just finished my studies at university. I wanted to take a year off, and you already know what's top on my list. It's always traveling. So I was thinking I wanted to travel. More specifically, I wanted to spend a year in the United States, and the only way I could do that back then, financially speaking, was to come as an au pair, which basically is a fancy word for a living nanny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I applied, I was accepted, and I was meant to come in January of 1997, except things changed.
Things changed.
Yes, so there was this Sunday, I was in the kitchen with my parents, a few cousins of mine who were just shooting the shit, as you people say, and just laughing, talking, having a good time, and we were actually talking about my upcoming trip. And the phone rang, and for whatever reason, I decided I was going to be the one to answer the phone. So I go, and there's this guy, Mr. Richard, who talks to me and says he's a hosting family. He was asking if I wanted to come to his family as an au pair. He spoke French to me, which was very surprising.
Give us a little taste of it, Frenchie.
Well, he said, "Bonjour, je m'appelle Monsieur Richard." And I didn't know any Mr. Richard, by the way.
That was awesome.
So I just thought maybe this is a prank call of sorts. And so I let him talk a few more minutes. And eventually I just said, "Look, I think you really have the wrong number." And I was about to hang up. And he goes, no, wait, give me a moment. This is not a prank. So he was telling me that the au pair that he had basically left abruptly, which, by the way, between you and me and everybody else who's listening to the podcast, I should have maybe asked why she left. But I didn't. So he asked if I would be willing to come to his family and spend the next year with them. And I said yes. And then he goes, "Well, it's going to be in 3 weeks. Can you travel so soon?" Sure.
Why not?
So I hung up the phone, told my family, and my mom was not very happy about it because she felt like she was going to have a few more months to prepare for my departure because a year is long, you know. So after I told my family, I went up my room. I always had this little suitcase filled with maps from all over the world. I looked at the one of the United States because I didn't know where I was meant to go. He told me Potomac, Maryland, but frankly, you know, beyond Florida, New York, and California, we knew nothing about the United States back home. So I saw where it was, and then I started to prepare both mentally and, I mean, physically too, because I had to pack for a whole year.
Wow, a whole year.
Yes.
How many suitcases?
Well, 2 big ones.
Impressive.
Bigger than me. Anything is bigger than me. So 3 weeks later, I'm at the airport. I'm traveling, get to Maryland. He's picking me up. We drive back from the airport to the house, which takes about, 25 minutes or so.
How was the car?
It was a Jeep.
Really?
Yeah, it was a Jeep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy, you know,
Right.
just a Jeep. So we drive through like a wooded area, and I started to see from the main road, like homes here and there, and they were just beautiful homes, very kind of like what you can see in movies. So I felt like I was living a movie for a short moment. So we get to the house. The house was a mansion, huge, huge, very impressive, just nothing like I've ever seen before. We get in. He introduces me to a few people. I'm so overwhelmed that I have no idea who is who. I'm listening, but I'm kind of trying to taking it all in.
Just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Right.
He introduces me to the two little girls that I'm meant to take care of for the next year. And there's a point where I see a person coming towards him and calling him Your Majesty. So this is like a whole other little thing. Well, first of all, he had staff, cooks, maids, gardeners, you name it, he had it. So that was kind of wild right there.
Right.
But when I heard Your Majesty, I thought, Mr. Richard is a majesty? What does that mean? Like what, where, how? So there was a French lady there who kind of took me to the side for a moment, and she explained that she was his nanny when he was a child in his country.
So he had never told you anything about addressing him a certain way?
No, not at all. And it never happened. I never had to do that. But it was wild for me because he was presenting his family in one light, and when I got there, it was just completely different.
Wow.
And even the name that he gave me was not right. And all of this was for security reasons.
Sure.
And also, to this day, I'm not allowed to say where he's from and what his name is or his position. All I can say is that if he lived in his own country, he would be the next in line to be the emperor.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was pretty wild.
Was he from Zamunda?
No.
All right, just checking.
Check your history.
Yeah, okay.
So after I met a few people and I went to my bedroom, I was shown, where I was going to stay, etc. I called my mom for one to tell her that I made it okay, that I was fine and all.
Sure.
And I started to tell her his name. And the minute I finished, she goes, "Are you serious?" And she knew exactly who he was because she had followed him and his family through her childhood.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it was just a wild thing. I spent the next year with them. The coolest part, to be honest, was to not have to cook, to clean, to do laundry or anything. The other cool thing was we did some traveling. They did ask me at some point if I wanted to go back to France for a ski trip, but I refused. I wanted to stay in the States. I didn't want to go.
You had finally made it. You didn't want to go back.
Well, it's not that, but a part of me felt like, what if I get really homesick and I abridge the trip, sooner than expected. So I didn't go there. I spent 2 months in New York in an apartment that oversees Central Park for 2 months, which was freaking wild.
Wow.
Also.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was just, it's next level rich. You don't even know what it's like until you actually see it. But he was a really nice guy. He didn't make any fuss. He loved cooking. The kind of cooking he does is pretty cool because you cook and you use a pan for each and everything and you never do the dishes.
Wow.
That's what I want to do when I grow up.
True.
But yeah, super nice, super welcoming, and just a bunch of adventures along the way. Nice people to meet. Just, anything he wanted, he got. So that was pretty wild. I got to meet some interesting people.
Any famous people come across?
Well, we had dinner one night with Santana because,
Oh my God, Santana?
Yes, he likes Santana. So why not, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Awesome.
more like, blah, 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 blah. Never mind the fact that I was still trying to improve my English. In a family where they actually wanted me to speak French the whole time to the kids. So that was another story. Anyway.
That's great.
But yeah, it was pretty wild. It was exceptional and completely out of this world for 1 year.
Great.
So that's my story.
Great story. Thank you so much for bringing that to us.
Thank you.
All right. Audience seems to love it too. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
Baboo's crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you my story now.
Yes, please.
This story, for all you sports aficionados out there, you're going to love this story. This is an actual true life story. I am not making up any bit of this story. I promise and guarantee you that. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to probably sometime around 2009, 2010. I don't remember which year it was exactly, but this was right around the time, either right before or right after the time the Saints won the Super Bowl. This all started with me one day. I was going through my email like everybody does, bulk email. You get all of these spam emails that if you don't stay on top of, they just build up and build up and build up.
Yes, delete.
So, right. So I'm going through the process, and I have to do this daily, or this like 100 something per day. So I'm going through the process and delete, hair growth replacement, no, delete. Ed McMahon,
Not you, that's for sure.
Publishers Clearinghouse, showing up at your house, delete, and it's just ongoing. So I'm quickly going through this, just not to waste a lot of time on it. Well, there's one that comes up. You may be the winner of FedEx National Sweepstakes. You may be the grand prize winner, blah, blah, blah. For all expense paid trip for two to the NFL draft. Delete. I just thought it was, one of
another spam.
Yeah, another spam email. And I went ahead and deleted it. Didn't give it a second thought. So fast forward the next day. I come home from work. There is a package at my door. Now, I don't know about you guys out there or you, Frenchie, but if I see a package, usually I know a package is coming.
Did you order something?
Well, that's the thing. I started thinking to myself, I said, self, did you order something? And
what did your self answer?
I told myself, I don't know. I couldn't remember. So then I'm thinking, okay, what did I order? I didn't order anything. Then I look a little closer at the package. The package is from FedEx. And I go ahead and proceed to open the package. And inside the package is a very official stamped letter from FedEx stating that you, once again, may be the grand prize winner of FedEx National Sweepstakes for to the NFL draft in New York City, Radio City Music Hall.
So you're still not sure at this point?
I'm still not sure. I'm still thinking at this point that somebody's trying to get my information, because the thing is,
I see.
You had to return a form, and on the form they asked for your credentials.
So you think that's a scam, basically?
Right. I think it's a scam because they're asking for my social security number.
Oh, no.
They're asking
Big red flag.
Yeah, phone number, contact, address, everything you don't give away.
Well, yeah.
They need it, or you're not going to win the prize. And usually, that's a sign of it's a scam.
Yeah.
So at this point, though, I've deleted the email. I went back into my deleted letters and found it, and they kind of matched the package, right?
Was there a phone number?
Well, what I did is at the very bottom corner of the letter, I found the name of the company that sponsored the sweepstakes.
Oh, okay.
So I got on the intranet and
as one does.
Right. So I proceeded to Google this company, and I find out that this company is a company that holds sweepstakes for these high-profile companies. And so I'm thinking, okay,
this is legit.
Is this really happening? So just to be super cautious, I called up the company, and I get this lady on the phone, and I'm telling her what my concerns are, what my worries are. And said, look, I just don't feel comfortable giving away this information unless I know for certain that this is legit. And she says, yes, sir, it sure seems like you've won the grand prize in the FedEx sweepstakes. And okay, now I'm starting to believe. And I'm thinking, okay, oh my God. And I'm saying, is this true?
Yes.
Is it really true?
Yes.
It can't be.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it is at this point, right? So here's the cool part is what's coming up, because at this point in my life, my son, my only son, is 15 years old, right? He's into his like second year of really like full blown out loving the NFL and following it because I groomed him that way. But I was the same way ever since I was a little boy, very little. I went through all of the bag years of the New Orleans Saints. Those that watch know. And
I don't know.
Yeah, well, just very quickly to let you know, the Saints were so bad for so long at some point in time.
I remember that part.
I think it was late 70s or early 80s or throughout the entire period.
I don't remember that part.
They were so bad that fans wore bags over their heads.
Is that real?
That's not kidding. Yeah, that actually happened.
Hence the bag years?
The bag years,
Oh.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, so moving on.
Yep.
They had pretty much confirmed everything for me.
Okay.
And now I thought it to be true. So I'm calling my son. Like I said, he's 15 years old. He's loving the NFL. He's bleeding black and gold, just like his dad. Here's the phone call. Hey, Bryson, what's going on? Nothing. And
That sounds about
I
right.
said, you busy? No. This guy's full of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you know, I want to build it up. I'm purposely extending this out, right? This is just like the phone call. So, because I don't want to just get right into it. And he's like, you know, what are you talking? So I said, okay, you sitting down? Yeah. And I said, okay, here it is. You are not going to believe this, but I think, I'm still using the word think because when you win something of this magnitude, yeah, you're still in disbelief because this is huge. So I said, I believe I just won a national sweepstakes for two to go to the NFL draft this year. His response, what? And I'm like, dude, I'm not kidding. I just won a national sweepstakes. Him. What? I'm serious. Okay, look, we are going to fly out to New York City and we're going to get to see the NFL draft in Radio City Music Hall. What? Like, he would not believe me, right? He's going, and he's like, no way, Dad. No. And I actually had to send him pictures of the letter for him to finally believe me. And so, fast forward, you know, we confirmed everything. It actually was legit. So we're getting ready for the trip, and the draft's coming up in April, and we're all packed, ready to go. We are scheduled to fly out probably sometime around 6 or 7 o'clock in the a.m., and we get there super early. You know, you got to be there so far ahead at the airport. So we must have gotten at the airport like 4:30 in the morning. And we get there, and right the night before we got to the airport, there was this massive system.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was like horrific weather that came through, and it was so huge, it just swept across the United States. It was massive. And it dropped down so many different tornadoes. It was so intense that it shut down airports across the country.
So you didn't go?
No. We got to go, but don't get ahead of the story.
Okay. I'm anxious here.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's a great story. So it shut down airports, and all, like, you know how you see in movies when they show all the flights and everything switches to delayed? Delayed.
Right.
You look at the board of the airport when we got there in the morning.
Oh, my God.
That's what it was.
Can't believe.
Not kidding. It was delayed.
I can't imagine the feeling either.
Yeah. So heart's dropping, right? Because with the schedule, we were scheduled to land, I don't know, maybe like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had a little bit of time to relax at the hotel. This is what it was supposed to be. And then we had our first of 2 scheduled meetings with NFL stars where we get to meet and greet with. They feed us. And then after each one of those meetings, it's on to the draft at Radio City Music Hall. So I don't remember how many hours, but it was several hours before the planes were able to take off again. And by the time we landed, We had missed the first meeting. The meeting had come and gone. The draft had started. But that year, the Saints were choosing somewhere in the 20s, 23, 24, somewhere around there. They had 2 picks in the first round. They were both in the 20s. And when we got to Radio City Music, everything was rush, 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 right? So we got from the airport, running into the taxi, hauling butt down to the hotel, hurrying up, meeting the FedEx rep, joining him, and then getting to Radio City Music Hall. So by the time we got to Radio City Music Hall, it was probably, if I had to guess, between 9 and 10.
Okay.
But at that point, because of the length of the first round of the draft, the Saints still had not chosen their pick. So when we get to the door, we're running, thinking we could go straight in. We get held up by the doorman. Doorman says, yeah. So he says, sorry, once the draft started, we close the doors, nobody else gets in.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, did we go through all of this and we're going to miss the entire first day? Because for those that don't know and don't follow the NFL, don't follow the draft day 1, round 1 is the pinnacle of the draft, right? That's what you live to watch or be a part of. And here I am. I'm right outside Radio City Music Hall where it's happening.
Let me in.
Yeah, right. Banging on the door. Let me in. And I can't get in. So the FedEx guy explained to the doorman, said, look, guy, these guys won our sweepstakes. Here's all their credentials. And I'm sitting there with the NFL lanyards and everything. And we had to explain to him and beg him a good bit. And finally he said, okay, y'all can go in. So he let us in. And this is no exaggeration. When we sat in our seats, it was within 5 seconds that they said the Saints are on the clock.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, for the first of their 2 picks. So we didn't miss anything that the Saints were involved in the draft in round 1.
Which is awesome. You got to see your team.
Yeah, right. So it was so awesome, and we got to see our team's 2 picks the first day. We were still a little upset that we missed out because of the delay of all of the airport stuff, but it couldn't be helped in anywhere around. So
Mother Nature.
Yeah, here we go. Move on to day 2. We did miss the first meeting because of what happened with the NFL superstars, but it was for 2 different days. So they had a second meeting that we were able to make. And
so you got to meet some people.
Yeah, we met, I think there were 3 NFL stars at the time. I don't remember who they all were. The only guy I do remember was Merrill Hodge. He played for Pittsburgh for several years. And at the time, he was an announcer, but he was a famous player as well. And there was a lineman for the New York Jets, and there was another guy, and I don't remember the other guy. We got to meet and greet with them. They were super nice, very welcoming. They fed us. The meal was awesome, great food. Right before we walked into that meeting, and here's the pinnacle of the story.
Tell me.
I know, it's like I need a drum roll. We meet the FedEx guy. He said, look, he says, I'm so sorry what happened to you guys. So I spoke with my bosses, and FedEx has decided to up the grand prize.
Oh, my God.
He had box in his hand. He digs in the box and he pulls out an official autographed Drew Brees NFL jersey. Hands
Holy
it to
moly.
me. And I'm thinking, and we're like little schoolgirls at this point, right? We're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then
that is not what a little schoolgirl sounds like, by the way.
Okay, thanks. The thing is, he wasn't done. We would have been like, this is amazing. You know, we thought, oh my God, we just got an autographed jersey. He wasn't done. He said, and he digs back in the box and he pulls out an official Drew Brees autographed NFL helmet.
Damn.
Full size. Now, to this day, and of course, we're just like losing our minds at this point, right? Because if you are a fan of the NFL and you have a favorite player of the magnitude that Drew Brees was and is, you know what I'm talking about.
I think even if you're not a mega fan, you know who he is, and it's pretty impressive.
Right, and he's going to be first ballot Hall of Fame, so he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. And we have these just
one-of-a-kind items.
Unbelievable. The funny thing about it is they've never left the house, right? Because we want to keep them in pristine.
So you never warned them?
Oh, God, no. But I do make my son sweat from time to time because we do go to the games still. Mm-hmm. And every time we're getting ready to leave for a game, I'll tell him, oh, okay, today's the day. I'm wearing the jersey. I don't care what you say. And he's like, you are not wearing the jersey.
Like he wants to tackle you or something.
Yeah. So this was a moment in my life that I will never forget. It was a time where I was with my son to experience this incredible adventure of winning. I mean,
just something really special to share with him. That's awesome.
And who can say they've won a national sweepstakes before? That's
not me.
It's crazy. And one thing I didn't mention is that I didn't remember at the time that I actually found out that I won this thing. I didn't remember entering a competition. Not at all. I didn't. So I come to find out later, this was one of those things that when you're scrolling on the internet and you see these little side banners or these little side advertisements that say, click here for a chance to win a national sweepstakes. Let me tell you, click the damn button.
You just never know.
You never know. This is what I did. I filled it in, I clicked the button, and I actually won this thing.
That is so wild.
That's the end of my story.
Thank you for the story. Yeah. It's an amazing one.
So this gives you an idea of what we're going to be bringing to you through these different guests that we're going to have here in the studio.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring some stories, and we both feel that it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're super excited about it.
Yeah, and we hope you check us out and that you enjoy the stories that we love bringing to you through all the different guests. So remember, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. We all have stories to tell. What's yours? Bye now.
In French.
Au revoir.
In Spanish.
Hasta luego.
In German.
Auf Wiedersehen.
In Italian.
Ciao.
Bye, guys. Take care.